A very good morning, children. So let's begin to learn science. So let's continue learning our lesson number 3, properties of natural resources. So students, we have begun learning our second natural resource, that is water. In our previous lecture, we have learned some of the properties of water. Now, moving further, we are going to learn about the anomalous behavior of water. So, our next concept is anomalous behavior of water. Students, first of all, what is anomalous behavior? Anomalous behavior is related to density, where the concept of density comes, that means it is known as anomalous behavior of water. Water does not expand between 0 degree Celsius to 4 degree Celsius. Instead, it contracts. It expands above 4 degree Celsius. This means water has maximum density at 4 degrees Celsius. This is called anomalous behavior of water. Water which have the maximum density, that means at what density it's going to expand, it is known as anomalous behavior. So usually when the temperature of a substance is lowered, its density increases as the volume decreases. But water is an exception to this rule. Students, when the temperature of a substance is lowered, what happens? Its density increases and the volume decreases. But in water, it is not the same. It is different in water. For knowing this, let's see the activity. Keep a glass full of water in the freezer for 5 to 10 minutes. Then take it out and observe it carefully. From which part in the glass does the water first start freezing? So students, from the bottom part of the glass, it will start first freezing. Why is it so, students? Because the base is on the freezing point of the freezer, so it's more near. That's why. From which part in the glass does the water first start freezing? From the base part. Students, have you ever noticed when you keep ice trays to form ice cubes in the freezer, first the ice formation takes place from the base part of that ice tray. Why is it so? Because the nearer contact is between that freezer and the base of the tray. So, from which part in the glass does the water first start freezing? From the base part. The density of water is peculiar. What is peculiar, students? Peculiar means different to what it is normal. We have seen in this slide 1 that the density of water is different from others. The agenda of it is different from others. So, the density of water is peculiar, that is different to what is normal or expected. So, when water at normal temperature starts cooling, its density increases like that of most liquids. However, if its temperature falls below 4 degrees Celsius, its density starts decreasing. This means that the density of water is maximum at 4 degrees Celsius. Students, what it is saying that when water at normal temperature starts cooling, when there is normal temperature, its density increases like the most liquids. But however, if its temperature falls, that means if temperature decreases below 4 degrees Celsius, its density starts decreasing. As temperature also falls below 4 degrees Celsius, its density also starts decreasing. This means that the density of water is maximum at 4 degrees Celsius. If the temperature of water is lowered below 4 degrees Celsius, its density decreases and volume increases. So students, how we come to know that the density of water is maximum at 4 degrees Celsius? Because when the temperature of water is lowered below 4 degrees Celsius, its density starts decreasing and volume starts increasing. So we can notice that we come to know that the density of water is maximum at 4 degrees Celsius because there is a change when the temperature of water is lowered below 4 degrees Celsius. There is the change, that is change in the density, which decreases and volume increases. It means that water expands when the temperature falls below 4 degrees Celsius. This is called the anomalous behavior of water. So students, the water expands at what temperature? When the temperature falls below 4 degrees Celsius, and this is the concept which is known as the anomalous behavior of water. In cold countries, how do aquatic animals remain alive even after the rivers or lakes freeze in winter? Have you ever think about it, students? Have you ever thought about this? In cold countries, how do aquatic animals remain alive even after the rivers or lakes freeze in winter? Let's see the answer, how they live alive. It is possible for aquatic animals to remain alive even though rivers and lakes freeze in winter because not the whole water bodies freezes. In cold countries, the temperature of the water body decreases as a result of which ice is formed at the top. Understood, students, how they remain alive? It's saying that in cold countries, the temperature of the water body decreases. As the temperature decreases, the formation of ice is only at the top surface of the river or of the water body. So, however, water at the bottom does not freeze up due to the decrease in temperature. The formation of ice is only at the top, so there is no formation of ice at the bottom of the water body. So at times of crisis like freezing of river, the aquatic life shifts to bottom. Moreover, animals in these cold countries like fish are used to this weather and their surroundings, so they are able to survive regardless of the harsh temperature. Students, animals in the cold countries have adapted themselves in such a manner so that they can survive in any of the condition. And how do aquatic animals remain alive even after the rivers or lakes freeze in winter? Because due to there is decrease in the temperature, the formation of ice is only at the top, and at the bottom there is no formation of ice. So, at times of such crisis, the aquatic life shifts to bottom and they live there. Now, moving further, we are going to see the effect of density on water through an activity. What's the activity? Let's see. Take 2 big glasses of water. Add 4 to 5 spoonfuls of salt to the water in one glass and dissolve it completely. Students, first we have to take 2 big glasses of water and name it as A and other one as B. Then in one of the glass, in B glass, add 4 to 5 spoonfuls of salt to the water and dissolve it completely by stirring it. Now place a potato in the water. What we will observe, students? That the potato sinks down in the water. Can you see when we place the potato only in plain water, the water which is not containing salt, it's plain water. So what happens? The potato will sink in plain water. Now take out the potato from that glass and put it in the salt water and observe. Now we have to remove the potato from the plain water and put that potato in that glass which contains salty water. So what we will observe, students? The potato floats on water. It has not sink inside the water. Why is it so? Why does this happen? Because the density of water in that glass is greater due to the dissolved salt. The potato floats in that water because of the increased density. Understood, students? How is the effect of density on water? Where the density of water is more in that glass, the potato does not sink. It floats on water. And where there is plain water, there the density was less, due to which the potato sinked inside the water. So we have increased the density level of water by adding salt. So then the density of water in that glass is greater due to the dissolved salt, and the potato floats in that water because of the increased density. So how is the effect of density on water? When there is increased density, one will not sink inside the water. Instead, it will float on the surface. In the above activity, the salt dissolves in the water in the glass. That is, it disappears. Yes, students, when we dissolve salt in the water, the salt was not visible to us. It completely dissolves in the water. That means it disappears. We are not able to see it. It disappears. What happens when it disappears like this? When the salt dissolves in water, its particles spread in water. When we added salt into the glass, what happened? The particles of the salt spread in the water. Slowly they become smaller and smaller. And after they spread inside the water, what happened? They became smaller and smaller slowly. Ultimately, they become so small that they cannot be seen. So, when time passes, they become so small that they cannot be seen. That is, they mix completely with water. They had mixed themselves. They had mean students who have the particles of the salt have completely mixed themselves with water. This is what is called dissolving. And students, the process of mixing completely with water is called as dissolving. What is dissolving, students? When we add some salt in water, its particles start spreading inside the water. Slowly they became smaller and smaller, and as time passes, they became much smaller that they cannot be seen. That is, they had mixed themselves completely with water, and such a mixture and this process of mixing is called dissolving. Students, dissolving is a process which carries with three main things. First one is solute, second solvent, and then it forms a solution. So what is a solute? The substance that dissolves. Which substance had dissolved in water? It was the salt. So salt is the solute. The substance that dissolves is known as solute. So our salt had dissolved in water. So salt is known as solute. Any substance that dissolves is known as solute. Now second one, solvent. What is solvent? The substance in which the solute dissolves. Students, in what our salt got dissolved? Our salt got dissolved in water. So the substance in which the solute dissolves is called the solvent. So water is the solvent. And what is solution? What we get when the solute dissolves in the solvent, when both mixes together, that is the solute and solvent mixes together, it gives solution. What is solution? What we get when the solute dissolves in the solvent. Mixture of both is known as solution. Now let's see uses of water according to its properties. First, water is useful for water transport due to its fluidity. Water falling down from a height is used to generate electricity with the help of a generator. Students, water is useful for water transport due to its fluidity because it's in liquid state. So, ships, there are various ships, submarines, there are also water transport system. So, water helps in transport. Water falling down from a height is used to generate electricity with the help of a generator. You may have noticed this on dams. When water falls from a height, with the help of a generator, they generate electricity. Second, water is a good coolant and is used in motor vehicles to control the temperature of the engine. As water is a good coolant, is a good cool agent, so it is used in motor vehicles to control the temperature of the engine. Third, many substances are soluble in water. Students, many substances, and in substances, sugar, salt may come. So, sugar, salt, there are many such substances that are soluble in water. That means they are completely dissolved in water. So, it is said that water is a universal solvent. Water is used as a solvent in factories, laboratories, foodstuffs, and in various types of biological processes occurring in the body such as digestion, excretion, etc. Water is said as life, students, because it helps in various biological processes also. Fourth, water is useful for cleaning purposes such as for bathing, washing clothes. So students, water is of great importance. It is also said as water is life. So students, we have completed the properties of our second natural resource, that was water. We have learned all the properties, the effect of density of water. We have also seen what is solute, solvent and solution. And at the end, we have also learned the uses of water according to its property. So in our next lecture, we will be learning our properties of third natural resource, that is soil. Till then, students, watch the video attentively to clear all your concepts related to properties of water and also the uses of water. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Have a nice day.